Hello there, my name is James Harrington. If Spanish football is for you, then this is the place to be. Today, I'm doing a bumper matchday preview with matchday 5 and 6 all in one episode, with both matchdays being so close to one another. I'm also recording this prior to the European games in the Champions League and the Europa League. Let's begin with matchday 5. Starting with Real Sociedad versus Sevilla. Now, Real Sociedad come into this game after a dominant display against Cadiz, where their captain Miguel Oyarzabal bagged a brace, giving them the 3 points, taking their tally to the season in the 4 matches they played to 3 wins and 1 defeat, with the defeat coming against Barcelona in that 4-2 result on matchday 1. So the reason why I've chosen this fixture is because both sides were fiercely competing last season for that top 4 spot, with Sevilla eventually emerging triumphant. Now, Real Sociedad did have to settle for 5th place, and this season they are still a youthful side and not as complete as Sevilla, but I still think they'll give the Andalusians a run for their money. On the topic of not having as a complete squad as Sevilla, let's quickly look at the new signings of Real Sociedad. Now, there's not many to speak of. Of course, we've got Rico from Bournemouth, Matt Ryan from Brighton, but the big one is obviously in their striking department. There's Alex Sørloth, the Norwegian. Now, last season, we know how successful Alex Isak, the Swedish striker, who is the first choice at Real Sociedad, was. He's yet to get off the mark in La Liga, but I'm not particularly worried, and I think that will come soon. The reason being because we saw how good he was in the international break, getting the opening goal for Sweden in their World Cup qualifying match against Spain. They also have Carlos Fernandes, but unfortunately he's injured and been ruled out for a while, and that is why they brought in Alex Sørloth. Now, he's probably better known for his unsuccessful stint in the Premier League with Crystal Palace, but when he went to Turkey to play for Trabzonspor, he was a revelation, getting 24 goals in 34 appearances. Attracted interest from a number of big European sides, such as Real Madrid. He eventually signed for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga for €20 million, getting 6 goals in what was a mixed spell for the Norwegian. He's now come to the Basque side to reinvent himself, as it were. Now, of course, this is not like a major signing on a loan with option to buy, but he does give Real Sociedad something different. He's a target man, standing at 6'4", hopefully going to get the end of crosses from the likes of Oyarzabal and Porto, and as well when he was at Trabzonspor, he was efficient in front of goal. Different to Alex Isak, who likes the ball played into feet from someone like David Silva. We now move on to the visitors Sevilla, who, like Real Sociedad, who play PSV Eindhoven midweek, have European commitments themselves against RB Salzburg. Just quickly on the Champions League, looking at Sevilla's group, which as well has the likes of Wolfsburg and Lille, I think Sevilla are the clear favourites to progress. Even with this midweek distraction, Sevilla should be fairly well rested, having their matchday 4 match postponed against Barcelona due to the fact a number of their players were internationals featuring matches across South America. I'm looking at the likes of Papu Gomez and Marcos Acuna. Sevilla have had a really strong transfer window, arguably the best of any club in La Liga, bringing the likes of Mir, Lamela, Dimitrovic, Augustinsson and Delaney. They also kept Jules Koundé, which was a huge achievement, keeping that French centre-back, even if it was against his will somewhat. Look, Sevilla are serious title contenders. They were last season. They had a window of opportunity to get to the summit of La Liga, but it wasn't to be. Looking at their acquisitions this summer, looking at the fact they've started the season unbeaten, Julian Lopetegui will be liking his team's chances. Graham Hunt, in a recent article for ESPN, said that they need to be able to mix it with the big dogs, be able to play those top 3 sides and beat them, that being Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Sevilla have always been considered as a top 4 side, but a distant fourth to the other 3. Fortunately for Sevilla, they don't play any of those teams until the end of November, so they'll be looking at these matches against Real Sociedad as must-win games if they want to form some form of cushion before playing the likes of Real Madrid. The next game to look out for on matchday 5 is Barcelona versus Granada. Now, there's 2 reasons why I think we need to look out for Barcelona this weekend. One being to see how the team performs after their summer transfer window, in which there were a number of big name departures, such as Antoine Griezmann on the final day. And 2, because in the midweek they have to play Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And now, even though the Catalan club are at home, clearly the German giants are considered the favourites. So we want to see the fallout of that match on the La Liga fixtures. If the problems can't get any worse for Barcelona, to add to their bad news, Martin Braithwaite has now been ruled out injured for a substantive period of time. Braithwaite started the season strong on the first day, getting 2 goals and an assist. Now, Braithwaite is of course not as good as some of the past strikers that Barcelona have had, but he allows Ronald Koeman to be tactically nimble. He's industrious, he's happy to play across the front three, and incredibly flexible. So it's a real shame that he's gone. And that only leaves that Barcelona's attacking options are Luke de Jong and Memphis Depay. Also, in other news at Barcelona, according to Barça Blaugrana, the blog, Ronald Koeman in the Dutch media said that Barcelona have to thank him because they have a future. Clearly there's some tensions arising between the manager and the hierarchy at the moment, with Laporta supposedly saying that Koeman only gets a contract renewal if certain conditions are met. Another sideshow happening at Barcelona which may be worrying fans at the moment, but it's not all bad news. Let's not be too negative in this segment. They did bring in someone on final day, Luke de Jong from Sevilla on loan. Now, yes, you can say he was the third choice striker at Sevilla, and yes, you can say he's not too prolific, but Luke de Jong, even by his own admission, admits that he will not be playing every game. He's their plan B. He offers them tactical variation, someone who's very strong with their head. In other news as well, they've also given Ansu Fati, the youngster, the youngest player ever to score for Barcelona in the league, the number 10 jersey worn by Messi. Clearly, they're pinning their hopes on a number of new talents coming through the La Masia Academy, and Ansu Fati being one of them. Laporta, Koeman, anyone associated to the club is optimistic about the potential of the striker, even though he's out injured at the moment. When he returns, that'll be a real boost for the club. We now turn to the visitors, Granada, who I talked about extensively in my previous matchday preview before their game against Real Betis. So I don't want to repeat too much what I said last time, but do go check it out. We talk about how Granada have moved into a new era and the new signings that they've acquired. Against Real Betis this season, unfortunately their shaky start continued, losing 2-1 at Los Carmenes. In their 4 games they played this season, there's been 2 draws and 2 defeats, with that 4-0 thumping against Rayo before the international break really sticking out in my memory. Now in this game, in the first half, they were quite disappointed to begin with Real Betis taking the lead just before the half-time whistle blew through Rodri Sanchez. Luis Suarez then levelled the game up for them with a thunderbolt of a strike from outside of the box, only for Sergio Canales of Real Betis to run through with a lovely mazy run in the 88th minute to give Los Verde Blancos the 3 points. After the game, Carlos Neva, the defender for Granada, gave a very honest and pragmatic assessment of their situation. He made the point that there are things to learn. It's disappointing they conceded late on through a counter-attack, but also said the dressing room has to keep the faith. They're only 4 games into the season. We now move on to matchday 6, and we start with Getafe versus Atletico Madrid, somewhat of a derby. Now, whilst their fiercest rivals seem to be for Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and for Getafe, Leganés, there will still be passion surrounding the capital. Now, Getafe have started the season not particularly well, losing all 4 of their opening matches against Barcelona, Sevilla, against their former manager Bordalas at his new club Valencia, and most recently against Elche. Now, Getafe, in their first 3 seasons back in La Liga, reached the highs of 5th place, played European football. However, last season there was disappointment, finishing 15th, 4 points from relegation. They relieved their manager Bordalas of his duties and brought in a familiar face in Micho in his second stint at the club. Micho was first in charge in 2009-2011, eventually relieved of his duties with the club starving off relegation by 1 point, and him having a win percentage across those seasons of 38%. Micho is seen as bringing a new style to the club, some more attractive football, trying to disassociate themselves with the combative football of Bordalas. Micho's most successful stints in football have actually come away from Spain during his tenure at Olympiacos, but he's also had experience at Sevilla, Rayo and Malaga. With a new manager comes a new style, comes new players. And to bolster their attacking options, they've signed Carlos Aleñá from Barcelona on a permanent, a player who was on loan last season and showed glimpses of what he has to offer. They brought Vitolo on loan from Atletico Madrid, and hopefully he can stay injury-free. And they've also brought an exciting prospect from Liga MX club Guadalajara, Jose Macias. Those players will be looking to play their part in improving the goal-scoring outlay of the side, because last season Getafe were the lowest scorers in La Liga with 28 goals. We now turn to Atletico Madrid, currently sitting third in La Liga. The reigning champions, their most recent games have been going down to the wire in dramatic fashion. Against Villarreal, thanks to an Isamandi horrendous own goal, they managed to clinch a draw. But against Espanyol, being 1-0 down, they managed to win the game 2-1 thanks to a 99th minute winner from Thomas Lemar. It must be said though, huge credit has to go to Yannick Carrasco as well, who scored a brilliant solo goal 11 minutes from time to level the match. This match was a big occasion as well because it was the second debut of Antoine Griezmann, the Frenchman who spent the last few seasons at Barcelona. He came back to the Wanda Metropolitano on the final deadline day with a loan option to buy deal. Now, it wasn't a brilliant appearance by Antoine Griezmann, playing only 58 minutes, 33 touches, 17 passes of the ball and 2 shots, both off target. In this match, Diego Simeone was forced to innovate so he could squeeze in Antoine Griezmann into that starting 11, fielding an unusually attacking lineup with the new arrival playing off Luis Suarez alongside Angel Correa and Marcos Llorente and Yannick Carrasco completing a strong attack. If there is any chink in the armour of Atletico Madrid, it's now their defence, which is strange to say and something you wouldn't label against Atleti sides of old. The reason why I bring this up is because if they continue to play a system that uses 3 central defenders, with only 4 in the squad in total, a 5th is arguably needed for cover. The final game to look out for on Matchday 6 is Espanyol versus Alaves. Of course, Espanyol will be bitterly disappointed they lost the game late on to Atletico Madrid, but they've had an okay start, haven't they? Goalless draws in their first 2 matches, unfortunately a defeat to Mallorca before the international break sees them at the moment sitting 15th. The big thing though in this game against Atletico Madrid, they got off the mark in terms of goals, and that was thanks to Raul de Tomas, who's going to be a key player for them this season. Last time when they were in the Segunda Division, he got 23 goals, so they need him firing on all cylinders if they have any hope of survival. They'll be battling out against the likes of Alaves this season, and this is going to be a crucial match for them because their next 2 games after this one is against Sevilla and Real Madrid. The opposition, Alaves, are now in their 6th straight season in La Liga. However, it hasn't started off well for Alaves, losing their 3 opening matches against Real Madrid, Mallorca and Valencia, seeing them at the foot of the table. Last season they relieved Pablo Machin of his duties in January with the club sitting 16th. They then brought in Abel Fernandez for his second stint in charge in what was a disappointing spell. And finally brought in Javi Calleja, the former Villarreal manager, who got 4 wins out of 8 to keep the club up. Like Espanyol, they'll be desperate for some serious points from this match. So what does this all mean for my predictions of those 4 games? Starting back at Matchday 5, Real Sociedad hosting Sevilla. A tight one I think this is going to be, and I could see Real Sociedad definitely scoring this one. However, I think Julian Lopetegui's men are going to walk away with the 3 points. I'm going to go Real Sociedad 1, Sevilla 2. Barcelona versus Granada was the next game to watch out for on Matchday 5. And even though they're bereft at the moment of striking options, I'm confident they'll get a number of goals. I'm going to Barcelona 3, Granada 1. We then move to Matchday 6, Getafe versus Atletico Madrid. I think this will be a tight affair and a classic Simeone performance, a 1-0 victory for Atletico. Finally, Espanyol versus Alaves, a really important game in terms of who might be relegated at the end of the season. And I'm more confident in Espanyol at the moment. I'm giving Espanyol a 2-0 victory against Alaves. Well, that's it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed my Matchday preview of Matchday 5 and Matchday 6. If you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, and give the video a thumbs up. It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.